Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, battle for control of the Minnesota State House is heating up.
In the last hour, Scott County certified the election results in a very close race in Shakopee, where incumbent Democrat Brad Tabke beat Republican Aaron Paul by just 14 votes. Now, the results are close enough for a publicly funded recount. Joe McCoy was at a meeting today to tell us more about that. He joins us now live from Shakopee. Joe?
Rena, the reason there was so much interest in this Scott County canvassing board meeting tonight was because of how close that District 54A race is. But there also were a lot of questions about 20 ballots in Shakopee Precinct 10 that would directly impact that race.
We had 329 people check in to absentee vote. We received 309 ballots back.
Scott County election official Julie Hansen, who you just heard from there, says they will continue to audit and investigate the situation. But she also said at the end of the day, their job is to certify the ballots that they have in their hand, and that is that 309 number. And why, at the end of the day, the Republican Aaron Paul has officially requested a recount in 54A, and now that process will begin. The closest election in any Minnesota legislative district this cycle is headed for a recount after the Scott County Canvassing Board certified the election results this afternoon. Democratic Representative Brad Tabke leads Republican challenger Aaron Paul by only 14 votes in Shakopee's District 54A race. Now that results have been certified by the County Canvassing Board, they will be sent to the Secretary of State's office to be certified there on November 21st.
This is the system working the way it's supposed to work.
Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon says by law, any discrepancy in the vote must be corrected right away, which happened in this situation.
The public and the political parties and the candidates can look and see and touch and feel and ask questions, and that's exactly what we want.
The state will cover the recount since the margin of victory is lower than 0.5%. That hand recount of 22,000 ballots will also begin on November 21st.
There's high degrees of transparency and high degrees in terms of security in this process here.
David Schultz is a political science professor at Hamline University. Although he feels recounts are important, he acknowledges that they don't have a history of actually changing the winner.
When it gets down to that number, it is possible. It is possible, although very unlikely, that the outcome is going to change.
With Democrats and Republicans tied at 67 seats apiece in the state house, if the recount were to flip the District 54A race in Republican Aaron Paul's favor, it would change the entire balance of power in the state legislature. House District the 14B race is also headed to a recount in Shakopee. That is where Democratic Dan Wolgamott leads Republican Sue Eck by 191 votes. Because of an issue with the results on election night, Sherburne County says they will pay for the hand recount to make sure that there is complete transparency in that election. Rena.
All right. Thank you, Joe.